How's it going? Trevor here from Fish Forge Off-Road, and I am the Kayak Angler Magazine quarterfinalist. This is my kayak that won me the first round, and I'm hoping will take me on to the next round. So let me explain some details to you, show you what I got on board, show you what I like to fish for, and of course, right now we're going for the crab. Dungeness crab season's open, so let me show you the difference that I do from one season to the next. We'll take some things off, we'll put some things on, switch it around a little bit, because every season, everything I'm targeting requires a slightly different setup. So stay tuned for more, and let's check out this kayak. Let's start at the bow of the kayak. As you can see, we got the Yak Power lighting up front, our safety lights, so help other boats, other kayakers see where we are. We got the Guardian Angel on top of the OPA bag, makes us even more visible. I really like the feature on the Guardian Angel where you can make everything flash, really make yourself visible in those foggy conditions. But then if I'm not running the OPA bag, say I'm running Dungeness crab, we're taking this guy off, we're throwing some crab pots on top, and either combo we're running, we're extremely visible out on the water. So moving down the kayak, as you can see, we have the Lowrance Eagle Eye system. Let's go over my rod holder setups. So I currently have two different style rod holders. One Yak Attack, the Omega. The other is the Scotty Orca. Slightly different uses, slightly different conditions. There is sometimes I control using two rods, so it's nice to have a low and a high, so that way I'll have a little bit more weight, less weight, and I can manage them. If not, we're just running one rod holder. Keep it a little bit more simple, especially for running our Scotty Lake Troller. Nice little lineup so that everything's kind of compact, low profile. Once we hook up onto that nice big old salmon, we're popping out, we're fighting that fish. Now let me show you what we got going on underneath this guy. So I had some fun, and I really wanted a flush mount rod holder in here. So I custom made a rod tube delete using some of the same material that I've used from my mini cutting board and for my Lowrance mount up here as well. So just kind of a nice little feature. I also did the same thing for the lake troller or for my pot puller on the other side. I got that bigger Scotty mount off the front and I added it to the low profile, a lot more secure, more stable, again, much more low profile, keeps that weight low off the kayak. Of course, safety is always a big thing out on the water. So we got the super safe NRS Chinook life jacket. Of course, you always want to make sure you have a nice marine radio. If you're in the ocean, definitely a requirement. Radio checks before you hit the water. I really like the Guardian Angel micro light, just being to add a little bit more visibility, but really my favorite feature is the work light. So while you're working in your lap, you got a nice little work light. You don't have to deal with a headlamp, anything like that. And then of course you got your safety knife, and of course you got to have the line cutter, the zipper pull there. Always comes in handy to have a little tool to do some cutting. And another little feature is this Rogue Fishing. Check that out. So I'll attach it to my cell phone. Whoop. That way, if you drop something overboard, your phone's just kind of dangling. You're not losing anything. I'm sure you've been noticing some of the green trim, but this is a custom one-off right here. So this is the YakAttack cushion that they got, but as you can see, it's a different shape. We got some green accents, some green trim. This was custom redone by my mother-in-law. That's right, Mimi. This was Mimi-fied. So thank you, Mimi, for this. For the Hydra, it's a little bit more low profile of a space, so I wanted a little bit more rounder, a little bit smaller seat. So I cut off not a lot of material from their original YakAttack, but just enough to kind of make it simple, and then she worked her magic. I think she did a great job. How great does that look?
Good.
All right, so looking at our center hatch here, we have the Yak Power light system. One hand, phone comes out, and let's check what's powering that guy. So inside our hatch, we have more Yak Power pod lights, give us some nice visibility at night. But all the way in the back, we have a Nokwa 20 amp hour battery, charging our phone all day, all night long. I did add a slightly different hinge lock to the front. It's more of your DIY. It's actually extra cooler handles. Just a little bit easier to manage one-handed. Pop things open, grab your tools out the center hatch. Just one of those little fun things. I've been doing a lot of kind of DIY, aftermarket kind of knockoff type things, just having fun with it. So speaking of that, check out this little. So I just upgraded the original rail to a catch rail. So I kind of like the blue anodized. I'll end up doing the same thing on the other side. I've done one on the back. So slowly just having fun, adding more and more things to the build. All right, now to the back of the kayak. As you can see, we got a lot going on back here. I really utilize all the space, turn around, be able to grab everything I need. One of the first things that I'm going for once I hook a fish is a nice sturdy gaff. This gaff is actually from Broken Twigs. It is actually a San Jose Sharks player's broken hockey stick. So when I pick this thing up, I feel like I want to play some street hockey. So just a fun little feature, an awesome little gaff. This is usually my boat gaff. So later this week, you may see the new gaff I'm getting built specifically for my Vibe Hydra 130. This will stay on the boat or maybe go on the wall just because it's such a beautiful piece. All right, moving on. Second thing we're grabbing after the gaff is a club. So we always got to get a bonker real quick. This bonker happens to be built by Fishing Armory. As you can see, it's a spent 20mm shell, and this thing packs a wallop. So one hit usually does the trick. If I'm not using the gaff, then we're going for the landing net, leverage landing net by YakAttack. Just one of those really nice features. I've come to like this net a lot. Was a little skeptical when I first saw it come out, but if you've seen some of my videos, some of those net landing jobs are always exciting. You're one-handed off the side of your kayak, so having that extra support really kind of helps you get those fish. Awesome little feature, low profile, so you're not getting stuck in the wind. All right, on top of our black pack, our YakAttack black pack, we have our Yak Power Dry Tunes. Always nice to have some music out on the water, you know, low volume, high volume. Just one of those nice little features. It's actually magneted on by the top, and then of course I always have safety lanyard cord just in case. Let's dig in to this YakAttack teal black pack and see what we got inside. What do we have quick access to? So, not always, but sometimes I'm running dual Bixby batteries. So I got my main Bixby on the front, real quick plug in right here. So if I need to, I'll reach around, grab my spare battery, do a quick swap, keeps me going on the water. We also got my YakAttack gear bag. Right now I want to say I'm set up pretty much for all rockfish, no real halibut or anything else. So Madame lures, these things are awesome. They're like a little fluke or a little sand dab. Madame lures, the big Richard, some big swim baits. We got some hookup baits in here, running some donkey rigs, some pre-ties, a whole bunch of other baits, and then some hard jigs, bottom jigs, things like that. Sabiki rigs, more mini jigs, pretty much everything I would need for rock fishing. And moving on, what else we got in here? Of course, you have to have a little field first aid kit. I've kind of added to my first aid kit a little bit. Tourniquet. Hopefully you never need a tourniquet, but I feel like it's just one of those things. Of course, you got to have the de-hooker. Hook yourself. All of the goodies that comes in the YakAttack safety kit. I always like to carry a little extra water, so Vibe Kayaks makes this nice little pouch that I attach to my black pack. That way I'm always staying hydrated. And then of course, all my terminal tackle, extra hooks, all that fun stuff. But another cool little feature is you can see I got pod lights, the Yak Power pod lights to this. Well, all the wiring is underneath a spare YakAttack lid that I cut down to size a little bit. You can see right here, there's a YakAttack through port. So all the wires go through and then get plugged in over here. And then that all gets controlled by the main Yak Power controller. Believe it or not, I stuffed 10 jumbo crabs in here just 2 days ago for the crab opener. And I wasn't worried about them pinching the wires, doing any damage inside my black pack. So just kind of a cool little feature. Buy yourself some extra lids, cut them down, use them as you need them. They work pretty good, come in handy. So let's see what else we got on this kayak. Current setup right now is more of my salmon trolling setup. Big rod holder. We got the Scotty Lake troller. Right now, I just put the crab pots on the front. And so we want to switch it out for Dungeness crab in or lobster in. We like to do both on this kayak. Spiny lobster, Southern California, about an 8-9 hour drive, but we'll go after them. So I really like the Scotty pot puller. Just very simple. Again, that's why I went with the flush mount right there. Now we have a little rope to guide us. Get that rope off the side of the kayak, gives us a little bit better leverage from where we're sitting. Just a really nice addition, super easy to install there. So whether it's the lake troller or the pot puller, or we're just running nothing, I really kind of like the Scotty flush mounts on the rod tube delete. So kind of a nice little feature. All right, I'll probably put a little clip in, but the other night, opening Dungeness crab season, I launched this baby at midnight. Pitch black on the water, a little bit of moonlight, but it's kind of always hard to find your buoys, find things like that. So the Yak Power spotlight was crucial to finding everything. I mean, I was kind of sitting out in the water, feeling like search and rescue, if you will, kind of scanning the horizon, looking for my glow sticks, helping me find things. Maybe I'll throw a little video on of my first pot of the night. Just kind of one of those really nice little features. Again, safety, helping you find things on the water. So cool little Yak Power safety light. So speaking of Yak Power, everything is controlled. All of the lights, with everything except for the Yak Power phone holder. You saw that battery inside here. Everything else, the fish finder, all the pod lights in the back, the way back, the front lights are all controlled wirelessly with the Yak Power system. I can kind of turn everything on and off as I need to, and everything lives in the front of my kayak. It's all wired in place in the Yak Power battery box. Really everything is kind of compact. Nothing's moving around in there. I really don't even need to take it out. I can do all my charging through the import, so don't need to take anything out, which is really nice. Have another 20 amp hour Naqua battery in there that's controlling everything for me. So again, just keeps it compact, keeps it really nice. This kayak right now is pretty much one of the fastest kayaks, I'd have to say, in the YakOffs. Probably one of the only kayaks that doesn't have a pedal drive of some kind. All manpower, all paddle power, exception for the Bixby motor. Going with the Bixby K1 motor for my Vibe Hydra was an easy choice. Motor and battery under 10 pounds. That simple. Even more simple was installing this onto my kayak. I mean, it was really that simple. You just have a pin, drop your pin in, and your Bixby's ready to go. I mean, how long does that take to install? Seconds. No hole drilling, no additives, tied 2 steering knots. The Bixby is ready to go. Again, under 10 pounds. I actually use one of their extension cables so that I can get the battery a little bit closer to me. And then of course, like I said earlier, sometimes I like taking 2 batteries. Gives me a good 12 hours on the water if I need to. And just a really easy, I can actually plug other accessories into this if I needed to. It's got an auxiliary port. Clear choice, Bixby on the Hydra. It's a great combination. Always talking about safety here at Fish Forge Off-Road in the kayak community all together. We talk a lot about life jackets, wearing your life jacket, things like that. But what a lot of people miss sometimes is your base layer. What are you wearing out on the water? I've seen people wearing waders out there. You fall out of your kayak in waders, they're gonna fill up. You're going straight down usually. I highly recommend, I haven't always worn one. They are expensive, but these last couple trips, I have really come to absolutely love my dry suit. This dry suit's a Soul dry suit by Mustang Survival. You know, you're looking at $700 for something like this. But just the other night, believe it or not, I ended up taking the plunge in the water. Late night, was in my full dry suit, life jacket, went in the water, was back on my kayak within 30 seconds, and my hair didn't even get wet. I mean, that's how buoyant I was with this combo. Got back in, realized I was nice and dry, took a look, everything was strapped down, everything was secure. Went about my day, fished for another 2 or 3 hours. So life jacket, dry suit, wetsuit, really pay attention to your base layer, look at your ocean conditions. Even on some lakes, you know, lake conditions can get just as bad, wind picks up, things like that. So it's real smart, worry about your base layer, stay safe out there. Always like talking about safety, so let's take a look at a couple more things on our kayak and we'll wrap things up. Last little feature I wanted to talk about on my kayak was the custom decking that I added to everything. So I kind of wanted to add a little bit more color, just something a little bit different. I think it turned out pretty good. So I went into Amazon, found some deck padding, and real carefully took everything out, traced everything over, and got my deck padding there. Not only do you have the deck padding around there, I got the deck padding inside the box and some extra underneath my seat. So nothing's really slipping, nothing's sliding around. Just one of those really cool features. So, all right, I really appreciate you following me through my Vibe Hydra 130 build. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. I'd love to answer your questions. Still always kind of adding, tweaking this thing a little bit, but I really appreciate y'all voting. I really appreciate all the comments, all that fun stuff. So let's see what happens. You never know. Appreciate you. Stay safe out there. Tight lines, full pots. Safe travels. Trevor. Out.